As I've mentioned earlier, that back during the 2007 and 2008 value engineering process, it appears that the size of the emergency generator as originally proposed for the project at that time was downsized for reasons that we don't know, to be determined. We also don't know if it was ever approved. I've gone back through the minutes for the construction committee at the time and to the BMAC, and we can find nothing, that no record of a vote having been taken or any reduction. However, be that as it may, it did get quote unquote approved in the value engineering process, and it was reduced from an emergency generator of adequate size to an emergency generator of what we've got right now, of a 100 kW generator, which essentially all it provides is lighting for the ramp, the interior of the building, the emergency lights in the building, part of our access control system, and some circuits, and parking booth out in the parking lot, and that's it, and nothing else. And had insufficient capacity to add the HVAC system, for example, which befuddles me as to how that could have occurred. Our assumption from day one when I got here was that we had an emergency generator. We assumed that our architects would have determined that we would have had a generator of sufficient size to power a terminal that's supposed to be open 24/7, 365. We didn't realize what happened until we did some emergency power testing and found out it didn't. It just did what I mentioned earlier. So that immediately became an issue that had to be corrected as soon as possible. And so we got some estimates from another engineer working for our owner's project manager, Jacobs Engineering, and we also got emergency approval from the Division of Capital Asset Management in the state to do a sole source bid, so to speak, go around the bid laws at that time because it was an emergency appropriation because we were uncovered. So we got that approval. We got a bid. We actually had 3 bids. 2 people chose not to put in any comments. 1 did. And that bid we went with, that was with Cobo Electric. They came in and subsequently have installed the temporary generator, which was installed and operating as of last Thursday. We have a temporary 800 kW generator, diesel generator outside. It now works. We have full power. Everything in the terminal and the ramps and the parking lot works on the temporary generator. In the meantime, we are proceeding with getting a design from our engineers to make this permanent and to acquire a gas generator of sufficient size to be able to provide all the power that we need. It may not need to be as big as 700 or 800 as we're currently using, and as I put in the appropriation order, it depends on the amperage that we require. Could be as low as 500, could be as high as 700 kW generator. The funding that we've asked for roughly is about $130,000 of the appropriation we're asking for is for the installation of the temporary generator and the rental of the generator for 5 to 6 months. The rental is like $14,000 a month for the temporary generator, and then there's a 20-week lead time for the purchase of a new generator. So we'll have to keep that temporary one until we get the new one on board. So we're going to, with this approval and with the approval of the town council tomorrow, Thursday night, we'll immediately go out and start the procurement process for the generator and the process to get an electric engineering and construction permits and to get this thing done and put in accordance with the bid laws. I don't know what else to say I can about the generator. It's unfortunate what happened. We're unable right now. We're unable to pinpoint the blame. But when it was taken off back in 2008, it was never brought to management's attention. It was never put on any BE list. You never approved it that we can find. It just happened, and through the architects and through their downsizing. And again, unfortunately, never came forward. It also happened about the time that there was a previous management change, so there was other things happening. It was almost on the same night that those things occurred, so that could have been the problem. So, be that as it may, we need to move forward, and I request your support for this appropriation order. Happy to answer any questions.
Any discussion?
It's like an insurance premium. If we get whacked, we're gonna need it, and if we, with a storm and we have a major power outage, and if it doesn't happen, well, that's the price of insurance, I guess. That's,
If you had more reliable power here, and if you didn't have the past history of blizzards and major power outages or hurricanes for 4 to 8 days before you get relief, I wouldn't worry about it. But when you do have that kind of history and you're trying to operate a terminal in the middle of the winter, we need these things. I don't think we have a choice.
We don't have a choice, but it's unfortunate that this happened the way it did. Are we ready for a vote? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? It is a vote.